Hello, everyone. It is the Kyoster here for CKTV and YouTube, and I'm doing a live stream here now just to talk about a series that I've been watching on Netflix, a series that came out last year, and really when it came out first, people really started watching it. But I tend to leave things and not really to wait for the reviews because I make my own decisions on things, but I tend to leave things a while because for me to get into something, I have to read up on it. I have to totally divulge myself into it to really get into something, and I really have to enjoy it then. And last year, the one or the two series I was really big into was Gotham, which I've talked about on Facebook or on YouTube, and Stranger Things, which I absolutely loved. But the one that I want to talk about on this show, and I am going to do a show on Stranger Things coming up to the release of the second season, which is at the end of the summer, towards Halloween time. I believe that will happen. The one I'm going to talk about right now, though, is a show that I started watching it at the end of about 2 weeks ago, and it really impressed me. It impressed me so much, and it was it was a 10-part series, much like Stranger Things, which was an 8-part series. So they were both, I suppose, mini series. But the thing I loved about what I'm talking about is American Crime Story, The People versus O.J. Simpson. Uh, what a great show. I'm not someone that has really, as a rule, been into courtroom dramas or anything of that nature in the past. I do like films such as uh, that one with all the big names. It was A Time to Kill. That was a great film, as was uh, a few other great courtroom dramas. But what I'm saying is, I wouldn't really be someone who would look for them kind of shows. But I thought I would give this a chance because I remember it all happening back in '94, '95. The big court case and on the news every day. And here in Ireland, it wasn't really a big deal. Well, it was a big deal, but it wasn't really thought of as a massive thing. But in America, they called it the trial of the century. And it was all about, of course, O.J. Simpson had killed, or well, we don't know that for sure, but the story was about O.J. Simpson being a suspect in the murder of, or in the murders of Nicole Brown, who was his ex-wife, and Ron Goldman, who was the partner or friend of his ex-wife. And there was it showed the start of the show in the first episode. It shows um, the body's been found and the glove being found, the infamous glove, and it shows him going to getting into a taxi and stuff, or a limo or whatever, and going to wherever he had to go to do with his acting or football. But then it cuts to the police and the investigators, detectives, and that. And Sarah Paulson, who is an excellent actress, she plays Marcia Clark, who was the prosecutor on this case, and that was a very well cast. Uh, and then as well, the other prosecutor, her partner in the case was Darden, Chris Darden, I think his name is, and he was uh, the actor that played him was an excellent actor as well. Um, Also in this uh, film or mini series, I should call it, some great. It's just a brilliant show, start to finish. I haven't watched many uh, series that I fell in love with like I did with this one. Um, Even like one of my favorite actors of all time, and he's always been a really cool actor in my opinion. He plays some cool characters, and that is John Travolta. John Travolta plays Robert Shapiro, and he's the guy that OJ brings on board to be his main, uh, the guy that brings the dream team together. They call, of course, the group of lawyers that were behind OJ the dream team, and we've seen Travolta play a great role in that as Robert Shapiro, the attorney, and he actually went in really in depth into character as Shapiro. Uh, OJ himself, as I should have mentioned before now, was played by Cuba Gooding Jr., who is an excellent actor. Before this, he played a few good roles that you would think of as excellent, but he's been known for such great films as Gladiator, about the boxers, and it's a real heartfelt story, that film Gladiator as well. And he also played an emotional character in the film Outbreak with the likes of um, Donald Sutherland and Morgan Freeman and Kevin Spacey, Rene Russo, and Dustin Hoffman. Remember that film? Very good, from '95. He also played some great little gems such as Judgment Night and with Emilio Estevez, and the likes of Men of Honor with Robert De Niro. But that's just a few of his roles. He, of course, was in Jerry Maguire along with Tom Cruise as well. But Cuba Gooding Jr., very, very good and well fitted at a good time in his career as O.J. Simpson. Very, very enjoyable, very intense. I thought he'd done the role very well. Also, we've seen David Schwimmer come in to play Robert Kardashian, and we know that nowadays we know the Kardashian family, Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, um, and we know that family, of course, Kris Jenner, the mother, they're so well known in the glamour world and the Hollywood world and or whatever. Wouldn't be wouldn't be down my alley. I wouldn't be big into looking up stuff about them, but they are, of course. And then, of course, they're associated with Kanye West um, through Kim's relationship with him and stuff. And I know this stuff just by existing, because it's always on the. No matter what you look up or no matter what you hear, you always hear the gist of what's happening with them or whatever. But it's the way society is, I suppose. But yeah, Robert Kardashian, really, his involvement in the OJ case and his friendship with OJ Simpson initially at the start of the case is what really brought about the fame of his family, because if he didn't come around, and they show the family in this here mini series, and they show them as children and stuff, and it's strange, like it's not even anything to do with the case or to do with the film, but to bring in, I suppose, to bring more meat into the dinner of the, if you will, to bring more, to fill up the hour or whatever in one of the episodes, or in a few of the episodes, they include his family and stuff. And I suppose because of today's world of what's happening with the family and all, they showed you just the premise of where that came to be. But Robert Kardashian went on to die in 2003, of course, and he was one of the lawyers. He wasn't a crime lawyer as far as his his work went earlier in his career, but during the OJ case, because of his friendship with OJ and because of his involvement with Shapiro, and that he became part of this case. And they did bring in to round up the dream team of lawyers. They brought in Courtney B. Vance to play the legendary Johnny Cochran, who was one of the top. He was one of the top lawyers in Hollywood, and he was one of the top lawyers in the American crime system, because he would go in and he would defend all the African Americans who were up for rape or up for crime or murder or whatever. And he did defend the likes of Michael Jackson in the past, and he defended the likes of to a lesser extent of not a celebrity, but he defended the big case with where the LAPD. They defended a lot of cases where the LAPD were were bad cops against the black community, and killed him for no reason and stuff like that. So he won a lot of big cases as far as his, and he really did stomp out a lot of the LAP, the corruptness in the LAPD because of his great work at defending the black community, which was great to see. But as far as this case goes, the O.J. Simpson case, you really learn a lot of the background that you mightn't have seen back. You will, like us, the people watching, the audience, would never have seen that watching it on the TV. Would never have seen some of the stuff that came to be in the background and stuff. That these guys that make American Crime Story really have went into detail, and they've really shown that they mean business, and they're not gonna, Hollywood, make it all Hollywood or make it all glamour, glitz and glamour. They're going to go into detail, and they're going to say it the right way, say it the truthful way of what happened. So definitely, this story, this 10-episode miniseries, American Crime Story, The People versus O.J. Simpson, definitely. Like, watching it, I have to say my verdict would probably be that, given a few of the out, I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it. One of the late comers that likes to wait a while before they watch it, like myself. But I'd say anybody that's mad into it will probably have watched it at this stage. But I'm still not going to say much about it as far as the outcomes. But it's definitely, without a doubt, one of the best shows that I've seen, and I've seen a lot of great stuff over the years. I'm really really big fan of this one, and I would definitely recommend it, folks. The People versus O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story. I hear the second series of this is going to be all about Hurricane Katrina and some of the stuff surrounding that. I'll have to look more into that. I don't see maybe there was some crime involved. I'm not sure, but that will be interesting. But as far as as I was saying, the outcome of this case, it turned out that he was innocent. I don't know if he was innocent, but he was found not guilty. A lot of that due to the 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 juries they elected to make him not guilty. A lot of the jury were blacks. That's a big thing to do with it as well, maybe. But overall, I think it was you had to ask a lot of questions. I would probably say, if I had to decide, even though I'm very against racism, I'm very against the whites going against the blacks and everything. I don't agree at all with the LAPD doing all that stuff that they're supposed to have done. But at the same time, I would say that he probably was guilty, because he was. It really shows in the show that there's a lot of his facial expressions and everything. You gotta believe that a lot of it is, and when you see him in the actual court itself, the court case itself, when you watch it on TV and the clips of it nowadays as well, of back in 94, 95, OJ does seem a wee bit questionable as far as his innocence goes and his guilt. But who knows? It's just something that we won't know. We won't. Again, we might never know as far as whether he done it or not. But it's certainly a lot of great interest, and I have no doubt that it will. It really does still intrigue people, and still intrigues me. The trial of the century, as they called it, and definitely I wouldn't bet against him having done it, but I definitely wouldn't. I might not bet that he done it either, but let's hope he didn't do it. And but as I say, he probably did. Who knows? But one thing I will say is it was a big win for the black community, that case, and the legendary Johnny Cochran, who actually died in 2005. Just a bit of trivia for you. The legendary Johnny Cochran had another big one for the black community as far as that, and I'm all on for that. I think because of all the crap that the black community, the African Americans, had to enthrall over the years and back in the day, as they say, I am all on for them getting retribution and winning cases like that. And even it is, well, who knows? But this has been the Coaster, and it's been talking about American Crime Story, The People versus O.J. Simpson. Well worth a watch, and I would not hesitate for a minute to say that get on that Netflix. It's still on Netflix. Well, it's still on Netflix here in Ireland anyway. I'm sure it is in America as well, or wherever you're watching from. See you later, folks. Coaster over, ha ha, and out.